All right, we're back.
We're back. Welcome back to the rebranded podcast, The Lender.
And the agent. Well, vice versa.
Is it the agent and the lender, or did we decide?
No,
the lender?
you pointed at me when you said agent.
Oh, did I? Whoops.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm Danae, the lender.
I'm Marisa, the agent.
So it's been about 6 months since our last
I think so. It's been a
last
while.
recording.
Yeah.
We took a step back to kind of figure out exactly the avenue we wanted to go down, and I think we have it kind of all set. And there's also been a lot of changes in the industry. And what we kind of wanted to talk about to begin with is buying and selling.
Yes.
And just over the last week or two, I've actually had 3 people, either referrals or past clients, reach out saying, I am looking to buy and sell again. And most of them are like, I want to wait till spring. And while I think that's a great idea, they're getting prepped, all of that. My question and my conversation with all of them is, why are you waiting?
Right.
Not in a way to push them, but why are you waiting? There's a lot of changes in the market and opportunity for buyers.
Absolutely. I think why people think, like, first off, kudos to you for getting prepped, right? And having a conversation with the professionals to get their opinion. I think there is a lot of, just opinion as far as like spring is always the best time to sell. And while, yes, historically that is accurate, you got to think about the buy side. Where are you going to live? And if everyone else is waiting until spring to sell, where are they going to live? They need to buy something. So historically, we start seeing multiple offers come back, prices go up. So it's going to be more expensive for you to buy during that time. So I get on the sell side wanting to get as much money for your home, but it could just be a wash, honestly.
And on the buy side, you can also get so much that makes it so much more advantageous for your loan.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in the changes of inventory?
Oh, man.
Right now, and then how that compares to last year?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this podcast, we're at the end of August right now, so I don't have August stats. I have July stats. So in July, and we're talking Snohomish County only, there were 1,719 homes for sale in July 2025. Now, compared to last year, in July 2024, you guys, we had 1,158 homes for sale. That is a 48% increase in the amount of homes for sale. And so what does that mean for you? I want to talk briefly about like months supply of inventory. Right now in July, it is taking about 2.5 months to sell a house. Okay. Back in July of last year, it took a little less than 2 months to sell a house. So I think when it comes to being a buyer, this is a fantastic time. You have 48% more options than you did a year ago. And on the sell side, I think that can be a little scary and daunting, that like, oh, you got competition with all this other inventory. But from a buyer perspective, this is an incredible time to purchase a home.
Yeah, I mean, there's when you're buying and you're getting your loan for that new home. Yeah. When you have negotiating power, there are so many different ways to structure your loan and ultimately make it more advantageous. The biggest thing that I see, and I know you know, and what I always preach to agents is get seller credit before a price reduction.
Yep.
Whether it's a permanent rate down, whether permanent rate buy down, or just covering your closing costs to reduce your cash to close.
Right.
Or even better, a 2-1 temporary buy down.
And explain that for someone that doesn't know.
A temporary buy down.
Yep.
Yeah. So a temporary buy down is a temporary buy down of your rate. So the most common one is a 2-1 temporary buy down. And that will say whatever your note rate is, say it's 6.5%. The first year, your payment is based off of a 4.5% rate.
So that's the 2.
That's a 2. And then the second year, it's based off of a 5.5% rate.
There's the 1.
And then that third year, it is fixed and moving forward for the life of the loan at that 6.5%. And so it makes a huge difference on people's monthly payment. I was just quoting one that was about an $800,000 loan amount.
Yeah.
And the first year, it was a $1,000 reduction
Per month.
In
their monthly payment.
Huge. Being 2% lower.
Right.
And then the second year, it was about $500, and then they slowly work up. And there's so much benefits to these temporary buy downs because, one, the idea is that you get a refinance in that time period.
Yep.
May or may not happen depending on what happens in the market, but it also gives you time to adjust to a higher payment. I know I've talked to people who are like, yeah, my kid's going into kindergarten in a year, or in 2 years. So that's going to open up childcare costs and allow for that higher monthly payment and getting into their dream home.
The other thing with that too, like daycare is a mortgage payment. Let's just be honest, okay? The other thing that I talk to buyers about too is that, do you often get periodic pay increases?
Yes.
I don't know what your pay increases might look like. You know that better than Danae and I would. And so factoring that in, that like, hey, if I get a pay increase in the next year or I'm expecting bonuses, you can then go, oh, cool, my payment is fixed.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's increasing a little bit, but I know worst case scenario, year 3 through 30, I'm fixed at that one payment.
Yep.
I also talk to buyers about like, hey, worst case scenario, you need to be okay with that year 3 through 30 payment.
And we qualify people off of the note rate. So, qualification is different than comfort. I will always ask what the comfort is, and that's the other factor, but it does give that leeway.
Absolutely.
Another thing and why I recommend a temporary buy down before like a permanent buy down is, while the permanent buy down is more secure it's for the life of the loan. The temporary buy down, if you get a chance to refinance in those first 2 years, you get credited back whatever's allocated for the cost of the temporary buy down.
Ooh.
So
explain that.
So the cost of the temporary buy down is the interest saved in those first 2 years.
Okay.
So I'm going to use simple numbers. It's going to be more than this, but let's just say the first year you save $2,000 in interest. The second year you save $1,000 in interest.
Okay.
So the cost of the temporary buy down would be $3,000.
Okay.
If you refinance at the very beginning of year 2, you get that $1,000 applied to your principal balance.
Okay. Great.
So it's a great, and the cost of it is going to be a lot more than that. So it's going to be a little bit more substantial than just $1,000. But, who knows whether you're going to refinance or not. But that's an extra benefit, where if you apply that whole amount to a permanent rate buy down and you get a refinance in a year, you lose it.
So I think one thing that we haven't really touched on is, okay, how do you get a 2-1 buy down going? It is always paid for by the seller.
Yes, because the cost of it is so high that we run into, like, we call it QM issues. It's just a regulation of how much we can charge.
So it's a little smidge over 2% that we need of the purchase price typically.
Yeah, it's probably about 2.5% of the purchase price. Yeah.
So if you're buying $1 million house, you want to get a $25,000 credit, and that is more than going to cover you buying down the rate.
Yep.
2% year 1
and
1% year 2.
There is even a 3-2-1 temporary buy down.
I don't see those as often. Do you?
No, because what I see a lot is, if you're buying a home with a conventional loan at 5% down, you're capped at 3% seller credit.
Oh, okay.
Where a 3-2-1 temporary buy down is going to be over that 3% seller credit amount, and that one has to be fully covered.
Got it.
So you can't get enough seller credit. Sure. If you put more down on a conventional, or if you're looking at an FHA or VA, you can get a higher seller credit amount.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the main reason why I don't really see it, is because
Got it. Yeah.
You just can't get enough.
So talking about getting credit from the seller, I think there probably is this opinion out there in the market that like, oh, I can't get a deal right now. Let me tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
In my email inbox, I get recently the last month at least one email a day from, it's called reverse prospecting, where basically in the MLS, we have a function where we can reach out to the people that have emailed their listing or emailed our listing to their buyer.
Oh,
so it's called reverse prospecting. So I can see, okay, Jane Smith sent my listing to her buyer. Now, I don't know who her buyer is, but I know that she sent it. I can market to her, hey, like, where are you? Where's the buyer, right?
so it's not even like if you went and saw the listing. It's if you just said, hey, this is kind of within your criteria.
Yep.
Okay.
If you email out the listing, I can know who the agent is that sent out my listing. Okay. So this is a great email right here. This was sent to me 5 days ago. In the subject line, in bold, offer needed, let's make a deal. All capitalized. Okay. It says, thank you for sharing my listing MLS number with your client. This amazing home has potential to turn the bonus room downstairs into a primary suite. It's time for them to move on, and they are now contingent on another home they fell in love with. Please, if you have a client on the fence, encourage them to make an offer. I would love to work with you. Bring me an offer and let's make a deal. I am getting emails like this every single day.
Yeah. That allows you to go in
desperate.
That allows you to go in initially as the buyer with maybe an overzealous offer, and then you counteract back and forth, and that's where you make the deal.
Absolutely.
And it, when we're talking about buying and selling, these people are now contingent. They're buying something that they're contingent on as the seller. It allows you to offer contingent, which makes it more secure that you're not going to be floating to mortgage payments.
So the thing with in that specific scenario with the seller being contingent, you do have to get permission from their seller to have a contingent buyer. So I will say that there is that caveat. But the reason we bring up that email is that we have 48% more inventory on the market. There's a ton of homes for sale, and the buyers, pay attention. If a house is set on the market longer than 10 days, that is prime opportunity to get a 2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
So.
And I think, and you can speak to this of what you're talking to your sellers about. I think most agents or most good agents are coaching up their sellers of being like, okay, maybe we don't offer it right away, but our whole calculation, our whole review of our plan is taken into account for that.
Yeah, I think so if I'm looking at listing someone's home right now, and the stats for their neighborhood are showing that it's taking a little bit longer to sell their home, just based on the average of how many days it takes to get a buyer, I'm going to recommend to them that they allow me to market their home as if it's new construction. And what do I mean by that? If you go to a new construction community, they are throwing money at buyers. And when I mean throwing money, it's insane. The amount of money. I've been seeing 4% credits being given to buyers. There was one community in Snohomish that a buyer was considering. It was a $1.2 million price. They were literally giving them 4%. That's $48,000 to do whatever they want with that money. 2-1 buy down, pay their closing costs. So when it comes to if you have a home that's not brand new construction, why not start off going on the market and saying, we are listed for $800,000. We are going to offer you a 2-1 buy down right off the bat, and calculate your estimated net proceeds as if you are going to give a credit to the buyer. Incentivize that buyer to come and make an offer, because rates are still higher than what we were used to back in 2020. Yeah, 2020,
but
they're still lower than they have been
in a national average, or the not the national average, the historical average. And I don't know, I don't know how much more they're going to go down.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think there's so much volatility that
We don't have a crystal ball, guys.
Yes, I would. I'd be great if I had a crystal ball on that. But yeah, you don't know. So it's going into it, being prepared for all those different options.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we talked about seller credit. Buy downs are way more beneficial than a price reduction.
Yep.
All day, every day.
Yep.
We talked about, let's talk about contingent home sales. So for, those people that are approaching you saying, hey, we want to buy and sell in the springtime. Right now, because inventory is so high, we have 48% more homes on the market. Right now is a great time to be a buyer. Find your next home and tell the seller in your offer, you write in a contingent home sale contingency, where you then turn around, you have 5 business days to list your house. So if I were working with a buyer that needed to sell, we would prep their home before we start looking on the market. You're going to get pre-approved first.
Yep.
Let's make sure the numbers work out. Let's make sure you're comfortable with the monthly payment first. But then I'm going to help you prep your home for sale so that when we do identify the house that you want to purchase and we get it in contract, we can very quickly pivot, get your home on the market with the allowed contingency of 5 business days.
Yep.
And then you work with me to get your home listed and obviously get that buyer as soon as possible for your home. Yeah. So that is something that I don't think you're going to have the opportunity to do next spring.
Yeah.
Because historically, everyone comes out of the woodworks and wants to buy at the same time.
And that's a really safe way to make sure you don't float 2 months, two mortgage payments or anything like that. But if you're in a position financially as a buyer to kind of get creative, there are ways to think about how to qualify for both.
Yep.
Or, kind of balance the two. Because there's certain situations that I've talked to people of okay, well, what if you buy now, take advantage of this good buyer market,
right,
and then rent out your home, or
6 month
do a 6-month lease, or even a year lease, or whatever it looks like. Or if you're comfortable with floating it, then you can look to spring or list in spring and then take advantage of that seller's market. And there's multiple different loan structures that you can do to qualify for both of those. Some are very straightforward of just using rentals. Some of them are some specialty products. But if you have a down payment available, whether it's cash in hand or able to tap into a HELOC or something on your home to get that down payment, there's a few ways that you can look to buy, get settled, and then sell.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So homework for y'all. If you are considering buying or selling and or both in the next year. So specifically, we're talking about if you want to buy your dream home or you're just running out of space in your current home and you're thinking, let's wait till spring. Your homework is to talk with a great local lender. Danae's a fantastic resource. And then also talk with a local agent. I can be that for you. And talk through the possibilities. What is the market doing in your neighborhood? Then also have the lender look at your finances and go, here's what's possible. Here's what this could look like. And then formulate a strategy that makes sense for your situation. We are not going to push you into something that does not make sense. And in fact, we a couple weeks ago, I was approached by someone on Instagram that was like, hey, we want to buy, but we need to sell our house first. And so I went through my whole process with them and I was like, okay, if you guys want to do this, you need to talk with a local lender. That local lender happened to be you. And after analyzing everything, it did not make sense for us to get their home on the market or for them to buy right now. And so for them, it does make sense for them to wait until the springtime. They understand, though, that come springtime, it may be a little bit more challenging as a buyer. So just having that mindset going into spring that, hey, it might be a little bit more competitive, but we should be able to get a great price for your house.
And I think our conversations with them were on both sides of us.
Yeah.
My side was a little bit of cleanup that they needed to do on the financial side, and your side was a little bit cleanup they need to do to prep their home and get their home fully prepared to list to get top dollar. So I think doing it now, whether you're just looking to sell or just looking to buy, 6 months out is really a great time to do that. So you see what you need to do to clean up to your finances or your home to sell or anything like that.
Yeah. And especially if you need to paint your house, just listen to me. You cannot paint your house in the Pacific Northwest
when it's pouring down rain.
So between October and April or sometimes May. So
exactly.
If you are thinking that you want to go on the market January, February, and you need to do outside house projects, it's better to have a conversation now with an agent to plan for the weather.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'll just say that.
Okay. Cheers.
All right. Episode 1, season 2.
Cheers. In the books.
In the books.